You know why it's so hard to find an attorney to handle a continuing disability review case or an overpayment case? Because in those cases, the government's not paying you. Now, let me kind of back up and take each one at a time. Let's say, for instance, you're talking about a continuing disability review case. In cases like that, under most circumstances, unless you have voluntarily chosen not to keep your benefits going, there's no back pay. Because most of Social Security attorneys, their bread and butter comes from your back pay, from a percentage of your back pay. So guess what? If you're getting benefits continually, there's no back pay to get. So what does that mean? Well, that means typically the only way the attorney can get paid is for you to pay them up front. Now, I've seen attorneys do it different ways. I've known of at least one or two attorneys. What they do is they say, I'll put you on a payment plan, and this is the cap. And what they do is they say the payment plan is for $2,500. You pay me monthly on that. And once it gets to that amount, at all times that money sits in a trust. If I'm able to help you keep your benefits, I'll petition to Social Security and they will give me permission to take that money. That's one way. Then there's some people who do it monthly throughout. Well, they'll say, as long as I'm in your case, you have to pay me 25% monthly. And then whatever money is in trust, that's what I'll petition from the court. Or they'll just say, you just need to give me an outright retainer that I put into a trust account. And same instance, if you get approved, I'll ask the court to approve me for that money. If you get it denied, I'm going to have to return that money back to the government, because guess what? You're going to have to give that money back to the government. Okay? Now CDRs are a little bit easier to find someone. Overpayments are a beast. The reason why overpayments are a beast is because this is a situation where the government says you owe the government money. You owe the government money for money that they gave to you erroneously. So there's no back pay, there's no monthly benefits, there's nothing like that. So what happens is the representative tells you flat out, hey, if you want me to help you with this, you're going to have to pay me a retainer. And this is not a retainer from your Social Security funds. This is just, and they don't really ask you where it's coming from. It's a flat retainer, because in this instance, this is not something they're asking the government to approve. This is where you're asking them to represent you. This is a little different than the garden variety Social Security case like you would see in a CDR or a normal Social Security case. You're hiring an attorney to help you reduce how much money you owe to the government. And in most cases, that could be a lot of work. So they're going to want a retainer up front. So that's why it's hard. It's hard because let me just be blunt. It's hard because at the end of the day, you're basically the one that's going to have to pay your client. Under the normal circumstances where you're trying to get disability benefits, the government would take care of taking the money out of your check. You don't have to worry about that. This situation, it's on you to pay for. So if you're looking for a representative, and I've said this a million times, and I'm on listservs where we talk all the time about how important it is. People who are going through the CDR really need people to represent them, as well as the overpayment. It's really important because people have a hard time finding people to represent them. And I tell them, it's sad. If you're not sure if you can find somebody to represent you on a CDR or overpayment, contact legal aid, because a lot of legal aids have sections that deals with overpayments for Social Security. Contact your community legal services. Go there first. And if you don't feel comfortable using those and you want to have an attorney, brace yourself. You're going to probably have to pay some money.